Hello there, and welcome to episode 4 of this little episode, Applying Tolkien, where I'll be looking at different works of J.R.R. Tolkien, the author, and just sharing some observations with you. I'm not really a presenter, I'm just pretending. Anyway, I'll start with a little poem or riddle that Gandalf says in relation to Treebeard. Ere iron was found, or tree was hewn, when young was mountain under moon, ere ring was made, or wrought was woe, it walked the earth long ago. And that's a riddle. I'll just smoke this while we have a think about it. There's a lot about Treebeard. He's quite a big riddle. He's got a lot of different names and things, and so if we look at the situation where the two little hobbits, Merry and Pippin, meet Treebeard in the forest, and it starts with a name game. Who are you? And Merry and Pippin say, I'm Merry and I'm Pippin, and Treebeard says, don't just start giving everybody your own right name. And it turns out that Treebeard is a tree ent. Now, an ent is an old Norse word for giant. A tree is also can be seen as a family tree, as a tree of numbers, or a tree with branches and roots. And so Treebeard talks a lot about names. He explains that the names that things have tell a story about the things that it belongs to. And also, we notice that Treebeard writes down, he's never heard of the hobbits on his old list. He always this old list that he's singing. First are the elves, and then the men, a mortal master of horses, and then Merry and Pippin suggest that the hobbits be put in hobbits, half-grown hobbits, the whole dwellers, comes in after man on the list. So Treebeard is the tree ent, the ent, who keeps the longest lists of all these different titles. Now if we look at the name Treebeard, beard, it's got a lot of different connections. It's like bird, it's like bard, and a bard is a poet. Like Shakespeare was considered a bard, and the old bards used to write poetry around heraldry, so that the different names of the kings had different stories, and they would fit into songs. So the bard was, it was almost like keeping the heraldry documented through canons, through rhymes, through songs. As we know, Treebeard has his poetry. So he's talking about lists, and trees are connected with leaves and lists, and our connection between the book and the tree is very close. The word book itself is the Germanic word for a type of tree. The word tree ent, when said backwards or in reverse, is entry. So I was looking at this aspect of like an entry into a register. That's kind of like got a connection there with Treebeard and the entry into a register. The Germanic word baumbard, baum is tree and bard is beard, baum is tree. Now the English word I find interesting, tree is like 3, it's like a cross. Whereas in the Germanic it comes from baum, which it's connected with the word realm or room. But it goes back to Abraham, the tree of Abraham, according to some sources. So there's no definition there. But so it kind of shows that Treebeard, because he comes from right back when things started to become labelled, when words started to become doubled to make other meanings, and syllables connected to syllables and words connected to words, and as we grow in our lives, and as we get more and more things and make more and more things, we need more and more words. So what we're doing is taking the old words and putting them together to create titles, to create labels, to create definitions, to enter that into a register. It's an entry. And the other thing that's prevalent in Lord of the Rings is the use of names. We notice that Gandalf, for example, is called Gandalf the Grey, and then becomes Gandalf the White. He's called Mithrandir. Um, they've all got various names, like Strider is Aragorn, son of Arathorn. Um, Frodo Baggins, Frodo son of Drogo, Mr. Frodo, Master Frodo, Frodo of the Nine Fingers. So all of these titles, and every character, Master Samwise, Samwise Gamgee, Sam, the way that each character addresses another character in different situations. Like when the hobbits stay in the inn, the innkeeper calls them Master, and he becomes Mr. So this change of Mr. and Master and Lord, that prefix title also changes within the story. So if we can observe then Frodo's journey and the way his name changes from the beginning all the way through to the end, and how people refer to him, it's another kind of thing to observe. Treebeard, yeah, Treebeard. It's got 7 toes on each foot. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to say about Treebeard. Like I say, take notice to the names and titles, and why Aragorn, for example, would be called Strider, and why he would change his name to Aragorn, son of Arathorn. Have a think about that, and I'll see you in the next video. I hope it was any fun to watch, and yeah, see you later. Cheerio.